Hey, what's going on, guys? Marcus Crockett back with another video. First and foremost, guys, like my allergies have been really bad over the last, couple of weeks. And, in my state right now, we're having a lot of fires. So, that in combination with the smoke has got me like really, really congested. So, I apologize for that. If you can hear it, if I sound congested, that's really the reason why. But in this video, I really want to talk about how do you make sure that you always stay profitable on or in accounts where you already have a set established scope of work and the customer asks for additional services. I'm gonna make sure you know how I go about making sure that we're always profitable. By the end of this video, you should be able to follow the exact same method that I'm getting ready to show you right now. So with that said, let's get into it. So at the beginning of every contract, you and the customer are agreeing on a couple of different things. One of the biggest things that you're going to agree on is price, obviously, right? Because we're in business to grow our business, to make money, to be able to help people, right? So you're definitely going to have to agree on price, and the price is going to be based on what your scope of work is, along with like the frequency and a couple other things, right? But your scope of work is going to be all of the things that's required of you on a daily, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, however, whatever your terms are, right? These are the things that's going to be required of you that when the customer comes in, they'll say, okay, the cleaners came in, they did what they were supposed to do. And at the end of the month or at the end of every, however you set it up, whatever your payment terms are, they feel comfortable in paying you because the work was done, right? This is going to be your scope of work. Now, some of the things that go into the scope of work, this is going to be stuff like taking out the trash, cleaning the floors, cleaning the bathrooms, wiping down horizontal surfaces, et cetera, et cetera. These are the things that these are the cleaning tasks that take place inside of the office, right? Okay, so let's say that you already have a set scope of work and a set payment amount and a set payment, and you have set payment terms, whether they're going to pay you at the first of the month, they're going to pay you after every clean, however you set it up. You guys already have a set scope of work in place and a set payment amount for which you're going to be paid, okay? Now, the customer comes to you and they say, hey, in addition to what you're already doing, we want you to come in and clean our carpets, or we want you to give us a strip and wax, or we need our windows cleaned, or we need whatever the service is, parking lot maintenance, so on and so forth. We need this done. How much are you going to charge us to do it? Okay. Now, in the beginning, I would do a lot of the work myself. And just for full transparency, like I've never been good at doing strip and wax jobs. I've never been good at them. I know how to do them. I'm not the best. It's the reason why I always will go find people who are more talented than me and make sure that those jobs are getting done. I don't wash windows at all either, right? So I don't do any of that stuff. I always make sure that I go and find, better talent, people who are better at doing those things, so that when the customer comes in, they're always happy because it was done by someone who actually knows how to do that thing. And I've never proclaimed that I'm the greatest at any of this stuff, but I know where my weaknesses are, and those are some of them, right? So they'll say, hey, we need you to come in, we need you to do a strip and wax job. I say, okay, no problem, we can get it done. Now, this is why I'm so confident in telling them that I'm able to get it done, regardless of whatever it is, windows, carpet, strip and wax, doesn't matter. Here's why I'm so confident. Before we even get to the point of the customer asking me if we can do this, I always set myself up for yes. Now, here's how you can do the same thing, setting yourself up to always be able to say yes. Once you get the contract, or even before you get a contract, if you're brand new and this is day one, right? You should always be looking to go out and make relationships. It doesn't matter whether you're making relationships with other cleaning companies. It doesn't matter if you're making relationships with people who only specialize in floors or in windows or pressure washing. It doesn't matter, right? Go out and make these relationships. So then as you begin to get clients on your own, whether in general cleaning, and then if they ask, hey, do you do X, Y, and Z? You can tell them yes, because you know people in those other fields who specialize in those things. Now, here's how you always stay profitable when it comes to dealing with things that you're not familiar with, or work that you don't necessarily want to do. So let's say, for example, you're going to have a carpet cleaning guy, right? This is how I do it. because I don't really know how much it costs them to run their business. So I'll ask, hey, how much do you typically charge for carpets, right? What is your typical charge? And they may have a range. Well, it's going to be X amount if I only have to use a bonnet, or it's going to be X amount if I have to use a deep extractor. It's going to be, X amount if it's dirty, if it's, all of these different things. You'll kind of get a feel for what it is for what they're looking for and what type of equipment they're going to have to use, because it comes with a different process, a different procedure. Using a bonnet versus a carpet extractor, it's a completely different process. And they may charge different accordingly. Some may not charge different, right? It just depends up to that person. So once you figure out what their baseline fee is, when your customer now asks you, hey, how much are you going to charge me to do this carpet? Or can you do the carpet? You're going to be able to say yes, and you're going to automatically know how much to charge based on what your future subcontractor will charge, because you're going to subcontract that job out, right? Now, when you go and you do your initial walkthroughs, this is before you and your customer even have come into agreement, whether or based on the scope of work or on price. Before you even get to that point, you should always be using taking square footage, right? You take your square footage, exactly how big the floor is, or what type of floor type it is, so that way, and then you save that information. So that way you can always, go back to it later on and say, okay, well, I know that, ABC, Dental, their floor is 2,500 square feet of carpet, 1,500 square feet of tile, right? And now So if they say, hey, can you guys come in and do a tile and grout cleaning? Yes, we can do it. I don't need to come back in and remeasure, because I did it once, I saved it, and let me go out and get my carpet guy or my tile and grout guy to go ahead and set up an appointment where we can come in and get this work done, right? This is how you always do that, right? So the other thing is this. Here's the other thing. Let's put that to the side. Let's say you have an account that you're working in, and the client needs additional work, but it's not specialized work. It's just additional work, right? How do you charge for that? Let me give you an example. This is a real example. Everything that I say, all these things that I'm talking about, these aren't none of this stuff is theory or stuff that I've heard about. 99.9% of the stuff that I'm telling you guys is stuff that I've actually experienced gone through in this industry, right? So this is something that we just went through maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I'm at home. I really haven't been too much in my office over the summer. I've been spending a lot of time with the family, with the kids. So on this particular day, I'm at home. We're doing, just our family thing, right? I have no intentions on going to the office. I don't have any intentions on speaking to any clients or doing any face-to-face meetings, none of that stuff. I'm at home, and I'm enjoying the time at home. I get a call from the client. Hey, we're having this problem. I want to know if you can take care of it. I said, okay, send me some pictures. He doesn't want to send pictures. I said, okay, can you describe it? He really doesn't want to describe it too much. So all I know is that he wants me to come there to put eyes on it and, let him know, one, if we can do it and how much it's going to cost me to do it. So I have to get up, get dressed, and make my way to this building, which is about 40 minutes away from where I live, right? So essentially we're traveling for an hour to get there. I'm there for maybe about 15, 20 minutes. I'll go ahead and I'll post the pictures up top so you can see. Now, these pictures that you're looking at, these are PG-13 pictures, right? It gets a lot worse than this. So after we look at after I'm there, I'm looking at all the pictures. I let him know, like, hey, this is going to be, and he stops me and he's like, I know this is going to cost more than what we typically pay because of what it is. And I asked him, I said, hey, well, did you guys figure out who did this? Like, no. I said, okay, well, who did you You know, not that it's any of my business, but I was like, did you guys write anyone up over the last couple of days? Did anyone get their final warning, or did anyone get fired? And, you know, I could kind of see the light bulbs going off a little bit. I kind of step away. I said, okay, based on what I saw today, give me a couple hours. I'll go ahead, I'll send you a proposal, and we'll be able to go ahead and move forward. But I reassured him, you know, on my way out the door, that, you know, this isn't anything that we can't take care of. We can definitely take care of it. So on my way home, because I'm not going to the office, I'm going home. On my way home, I reach out to the subcontractors, because this is an account where subcontractors are. I reach out to them and I let them know what the problem is, and I also forward them pictures. I said, hey guys, you know, this is what you guys are going to walk into tonight. Is there any way, one, that you can clean this, and two, I know this is going to cost more than what we typically charge. How much more is it going to cost? I'll wait a few minutes. They send me their price on what they're going to charge, right? And I tell them, okay. I said, I'll let you guys know whether we're going to move forward with it, not here in a little bit. By the time I get to the house, type up my proposal and send it over to them, you know, as soon as I send that over, we get a yes. Now, I took the same method as before with the carpet cleaners and the window washers. I'll figure out what their price is, and then I'll add my price on top of that, right? So it's the same situation. They tell me their price, I add my price, I send it off to the client. The client had no problem paying that because they seen the amount of work that it was going to take. They seen the damages and everything that was done. They didn't have a problem cutting the check. So I'm going to charge for my time to get up there, my time to get back, my time to make all the phone calls. I'm essentially like a broker at this point, right? I'm just brokering these deals to make sure that one, the client's going to be happy, and two, my subcontractors are going to be happy, and then I'm going to be profitable at the end, right? So this is essentially how it works, right? This is how you always stay profitable when you're doing any type of work outside of the scope of work that you originally agreed on. But guys, that is it for today's video. Like I say, in the game of business, spectators are only going to watch. Hustlers get into the game so they can win. I'm always dropping jewels. Just make sure you're in a position to pick them up. You do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.